Okay, today I am going to talk about quantum superposition structures, which can be a key to quantum metrology. So this is the outline of my talk. I will give the introduction where I will explain briefly the basic ideas. Okay, and then next I will come to the concept of wave packet, because we are dealing with quantum particles here. And this is quantum superposition principle, which is a basic principle, and comes the idea that the Schrodinger cat state. And then the phenomena is called decoherence. I will explain it. Basically, this is the main obstacle to realize this quantum superposition experimentally. Then I will come to this field, it's a quantum metrology. It basically deals with high precision quantum parameter, how precisely one can measure. I will explain this, and then I will come to this sub-Planck scale structure, which is very interesting structures which appears in quantum interference regions. Okay, so I will explain this and I will see how it is connected with this field, quantum metrology. Then what are the physical importance? Okay, so I will explain here how, they are really sensitive to decoherence. This sub-Planck structure, it has some physical significance. So I will explain here how they are really sensitive to decoherence, and then its sensitivity against internal or external perturbation. And lastly, I will explain the coherent control method, which can improve this sensitivity limit. And finally, I will conclude. Okay, so in present day information technology, basically based on classical physics. So here we deal with bits, either 0, state can be in 0 or 1, we can describe. It's like a switch. Now quantum mechanically, this superposition principle, this allows a new way of storing and processing information. Present generation has tremendous developments in information technology. However, it is yet to see a revolution brought by quantum technology. So what's the goal? So it's a scientist's long desire to build up a superfast computer based on this quantum computation. Okay, so it offers the possibility of tremendous computational advantages over conventional computers, because then we have to use quantum algorithms, okay? For example, Shor's algorithm, Gover's algorithm, which are much faster than what we have now in our classical domain. So here then we will deal with quantum systems, okay? And of course we need to process the information, quantum information, which is nothing but a physical information that can be stored in a state of quantum system. So now we are entering the world of quantum, and we define the quantum mechanics by psi. Obviously the measurable quantity is the probability density, psi mod square. And then how we define a particle? We define with a localized wave packet. Okay, and experimentally one can create it using a laser pulse. For example, here this is an example of hydrogen Rydberg states of hydrogen atom. See here, one laser is used with a definite bandwidth, okay, and it excites these higher Rydberg states. So it will create a wave packet. So this can describe this particle. Now question is, if you have a wave packet, now what will happen when it evolves? So some interesting phenomena occurs in the wave packet dynamics. This is a time-dependent wave packet, which can be described as a superposition of some states, okay, eigenstates with this weighting factor, how each wave function are contributing in the wave packet. And this is the phase term, where this is energy is dependent on the quantum number n. It's written in atomic unit. Now interestingly, when it evolves, some interesting phenomena which are called revival occurs. So if a system evolving in time comes back to its initial state at some time, then it will say that the system has undergone a revival. So classically we know, for example, planets are reviving after their classical period. But quantum mechanically also it is possible when wave packet starts evolving, it comes back to initial state. So it happens, for example, when energy, it has linear dependence or oscillator system where alpha is constant. So in this case, we can define a time scale, okay, at t equal to TCL, where TCL is equal to 2 pi by alpha. At this time, this phase term becomes 1. So it's nothing but the initial psi 0 wave packet. Now question is, what will happen if it has also quadratic dependence? So then extra phase caused by this quadratic term, okay, will be multiple of 2 pi, and then system will have again the linear dependence, and it will behave classically. So then we can define again another time scale which is called T revival. So this TCL, it's coming from this linear term which is called T classical period, and another is called T revival which is coming from quadratic term. Now question is, we don't have always quantum system whose energies will be in this form. So then question is, then we cannot see revival or fraction revival or what? With some condition we can of course see, if we can expand the energy in Taylor series with some condition that n bar will be very well picked and it's very larger than delta n spread of the wave packet, then we can expand it and can find this linear and quadratic term and can neglect with this condition the higher order terms. So from there we can again define this two time scale TCL and T revival, and finally we can write this wave packet in this form. So already I have defined these two time scale TCL and T revival. So if it starts moving, when the wave packet evolves, initially it follows the TCL classical period. Then after certain time, it's going to revive at T revival time. But in between, there are certain times when these initial wave packets, for example, T is equal to R by S of T rate, where R, S are mutually prime integer. That means when 1/3 of T revival time, 1/4, 2/3, 1/8. So at all these times, the initial wave packet splits into several subsidiary wave packets. So that is called fractional revival. So initial wave packet, it splits into then mini wave packets. How it happens? Okay, so mathematically, nicely one can explain classical wave packet, we can write with this linear term, and this quadratic term, then one can manage with this using discrete Fourier transform. This nonlinear phase can be written as sum of this linear phase, okay, and with some condition where L is the periodicity, this is the periodicity condition, and this is coming that when S is an integer multiple of 4, for example, when we are talking about 1/4 of T revival time, so S is 4, in that case L will be 2. In other cases L is equal to S. So we can explain in how many parts the wave packet will split up. So finally one can write mathematically. This is actually showing the time evolution of a Rydberg wave packet, Hydrogen wave packet, and see it's at the initially few cycle it was moving like a classical wave packet, then dephasing starts, and then finally it's going to split into mini wave packets. So this is kind of 5-way breakup, or again it's coming 4-way breakup. So as I mentioned, at 1/4 of T revival time, S will be 4, so L will be 2. So in summation there will be two terms, P equal to 0, psi CL when this is one term, and for L is equal to T is equal to 1, there will be another term. So it will be kind of superposition of two wave packets. Okay, so that is coming here. It's a kind of two-way breakup. So this is the famous Schrodinger cat state. If we see the same thing in phase space, okay, so these two are these two wave packets, and in between one can find these quantum interference regions. Okay, so this is just a classical analogy to understand it better way. With all these quantum phenomena, we can think as if that a bunch of runners on a race track. Initially, they all are accumulated here. Suppose this is the initial wave packet, okay, and each runner, they are playing role of a single component wave. So you can assume it as a wave packet, and each runners are equivalent to each wave function in the wave packet. Now when they start, see because of their different speed, dephasing starts, as I have seen in the wave packet evolution, and after certain time, faster runners catches the slower runners, and sometime later they can accumulate into two parts. So like fraction dual, which I showed it happens at 1/4 of T revival time. So like a Schrodinger cat state, and finally they revive. So it's a kind of classical analogy. One can just explain this phenomena. Okay, coming back to quantum superposition or Schrodinger cat. Already classical physics, we know that we explain this with bit. So state can be either 0 or 1. But in quantum physics, we need to describe by this qubit, because we can find the state in superposition. I mean, it can be in 0 or 1 state. It's a combination of both of two at the same time. Okay, so here comes the idea, quantum superposition principle, and there is a famous thought experiment which is given by Schrodinger. He tried to explain this superposition principle. There's a famous story, everybody knows about that. Okay, let me remind it. He just kept a cat inside a box, okay, and along with a radioactive substance which is coupled with a vial which contains potassium cyanide, poison. So these two are coupled with a trigger mechanism, and during the observation period, the mechanism is like that. If a single atom decays, then the trigger will be off and it will smash the vial. So potassium cyanide will come out and kill the cat. Okay, so when it is closed, we from the outside, while we are observing, we don't know what is happening inside the box. So without disturbing the system, we cannot say whether the cat is dead or alive. Okay, so during the observation time, if one atom decayed already, then cat will be dead. If not, then it will be alive. So it's kind of explanation Schrodinger gave that time, that without disturbing the system, we cannot tell whether it's alive, if the cat is alive or dead. So this way one can describe the superposition principle. Okay, and this is a fascinating and delightful introduction to the strange world of the quantum, an essential element in understanding today's world. Okay, so what's the problem realizing this quantum system or this quantum superposition? Here comes the idea of decoherence. This is a phenomena. Any quantum system, it is always interacting with the rest of the world. That is called the environment. Okay, so all system in reality, it interacts with the environment. So that is a phenomena. It's called decoherence, and that is the main obstacle to realize to deal with the quantum system experimentally, and it's the main obstacle to do the quantum information processing. So these are the things, decoherence actually occurs because of this interaction of system with its surroundings. Any system in reality, no matter how isolated it is, it always interacts with the environment, and it destroys the quantum coherence and plays a vital role in making smooth transition from quantum to classical. So this is the most important and fundamental obstacle to the practical realization of quantum information processing. Okay, so already I described about this quantum superposition and the decoherence phenomena. So here I must mention two big scientists' names, Professor Arrows and Professor Wineland, who recently got Nobel Prize in this field. They have done groundbreaking experiment in the quantum optics field, and basically some of their experiments are realization of the Schrödinger thought experiment in their lab. They monitored the decoherence and observed these mesoscopic superposition states, that so-called Schrödinger cat states. So basically it's kind of movement towards the building a new type of superfast computer based on the quantum physics. This is basically their experimental setup. This is a cavity where there is trapped photon, and in 1996 they trapped photon for 160 microsecond. But recently there are some experiment they can trap photon here 1/10 of second, which is a very big scale for atom field interaction. So they send atoms from here. These are the Ramsey interferometry. Okay, they put it in the superposition state, the initial state of the atom, and when it passes to the field, there will be some interaction with the atom with this field, and finally they detect here the atom they detect, and the final state of the field they found in this superposition state, or the so-called Schrödinger cat state. Okay, so this is one obstacle for realizing this quantum information processing. Another issue is the measurement problem. And when we are talking about high precision parameter estimation, which is a very challenging task, and this quantum metrology field basically deals with that. Okay, so quantum metrology, question is, when we do a measurement process, always it has some statistical error, okay, and that can be minimized if we repeat the experiment with in the same condition and take average over the outputs. Then this error can be minimized, but it can be done up to certain level. For example, if we repeat the experiment n times, then the error will be scaled as 1/√n. Now question is, can quantum mechanical properties of a state be used for improving sensitivity and resolution in estimating a physical parameter? So what we did in classical physics, the limit is called the standard quantum limit, that is 1/√n. But using some quantum properties, for example, entanglement or squeezing, this precision can be enhanced √n times. So then the error will be scaled as 1/n. Okay, so this is the advantage while they are using these quantum properties. Now in quantum mechanics, two typical problem is high precision phase measurement and determination of weak force. Basically this high precision phase measurement can be done when we measure the relative phase between two superimposed states. That can be done by Ramsey spectroscopy or Magenta interferometer, and there they basically measure the rotation of quantum state in phase space from the origin. So then basically this high precision phase measurement is ultimately related with this measurement of rotation of quantum state in phase space. Similarly, detection of weak force can cause very small displacement on quantum state in phase space. So then this phase measurement or weak force measurement can be related with measurement of rotation or displacement measurement of quantum states in phase. So while we are talking about very weak measurement or very high precision phase measurement, then it will be strongly connected with the smallest structure what we can found in phase, and that is nothing but the sub-Planck scale structure. It was first mentioned by Jurek in 2001 to describe quantum version of a chaotic system. Okay, so these sub-Planck scale structures is a kind of phase structures. The dimension comes below Planck's constant. Okay, so this basically appears in the quantum interference region, and we know the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle that this uncertainty product, it should be always greater than h bar or equal to h bar, not less than that. So because of this concept, this principle, because of this Heisenberg's principle, we have an idea automatically that there should not be any structure in phase with dimension will be below Planck's level. Okay, but this common assumption is not true. So this sub-Planck scale structure not only exists, it has some also physical significance. For example, if system is coupled, it is always coupled with the environment. If there is any small disturbance or any kind of decoherence, then this structure will detect fast. It will be very sensitive against decoherence. Or if there is any kind of perturbation, then these states will be very sensitive over there. Now, another thing, if an act of measurement or any other process perturb the system by a small amount in the phase space, the sub-Planck scale structure allow the resultant state to be distinguished from the old one. Both the states become approximately orthogonal. That is happen exactly for this weak force measurement. Suppose this force, it's creating very small displacement, whose dimension which is less than Planck's constant. So even this displacement or this perturbation, this is smaller than Planck's constant. These two states becomes orthogonal, and one can distinguish these two states. So these are the physical importance of these structures, and already Jurek, they have already studied with this oscillator system, okay, and then found that these structures are responsible for this Heisenberg limited measurement. So here I'll explain these structures can be found in other physical systems, and this is the way that one can find, for example, this mesoscopic superposition of wave packets at fraction revival times exhibit these sub-Planck scale structures. So I already explained this fraction revival phenomena. So now we'll see how one can get this sub-Planck scale structure in other quantum systems. Okay, so I'll start with this diatomic molecular system while considering the vibrational motion. Okay, so Morse system can well describe this vibrating molecule. This is the potential looks like that. Okay, so this is minimum energy, dissociation energy at R equal to R0 at equilibrium position, and these are the corresponding, if we solve the Schrodinger equation, these are the corresponding eigen functions and the parameter values which are related with the energy expression. So now this Morse, it has finite number of bound states, so its dynamical symmetry group will be SU2. And if we have the generators, this generator will follow this algebra. So now our goal is to see the fraction revival where one can see the sub-Planck scale structure. So we need to create a wave packet. So coherent state, it's a very well stable wave packet. Okay, it was first introduced by Schrodinger in 1926 to describe the non-spreading wave packet of harmonic oscillator, because this is most classical object in quantum domain. So we have actually for harmonic oscillator system, there are these three kind of coherent states are there. So these three coherent states are similar. One is annihilation operator coherent state, another is displacement operator coherent state, and another is minimum uncertainty coherent state. So these are similar, but here we are constructing these for this another nonlinear system. We are constructing this displacement type coherent state using these generators. This is displacement operator, which is operating on the vacuum state. Okay, so finally we can write it as a superposition sum of the eigenstates of the Morse system with this distribution dm, which can be written in this form. Okay, alpha is the coherent state parameter, and these are the potential parameter values. M is the vibrational quantum number. So this is basically, now we can write the time dependent wave packet in this form, where these are the Morse eigenstates, and this is the phase term, where the energy expression looks like that. And see here also this vibrational quantum number M. So energy, it has quadratic and linear, both dependents are there. So again then we can define these two time scale, TCL and T revival. Now if you see the time evolution of this vibrational molecular wave packet, okay, this is basically coordinate representation I have shown here. It's an initial wave packet at time t equal to 0. So this is the initial wave packet. Now when it evolves with time, we have taken some snapshots, like at 1/4 of T revival time, I explained it will split into two wave packets. So it's split it into two parts, like Schrodinger cat state. This asymmetricity, it came from the potential asymmetry property. And here at 1/8 of T revival time, it should break into four wave packets, but it's not clear here what is happening in coordinate representation. So we move to phase representation. Okay, so here we'll take help of this Wigner function, which is a very useful tool to visualize the quantum interference in phase space, and it has some striking properties that it can have negative values. Okay, so we calculated this Wigner function here, and our numerical results shows this is the wave packet at time t equal to 0 in phase space. What I have shown in coordinate space is looks like that. It's a kind of projection from this x coordinate. Okay, so this is the initial wave packet in phase space. This is the two-wave breakup, where in phase space one can find a quantum interference region in between these two wave packets. So like a Schrodinger cat states. Okay, so and next the 1/8 of T revival time, where it has split it into four wave packets. It has split it into four wave packets, the mini four wave packets, and in between, in the central region, one can find the quantum interference structures. So our claim is these structures are having dimension sub-Planck level. So that we actually calculated numerically. Okay, so this is actually we divided into different parts, even parts showing what parts, and this is the interference region. Okay, and the accumulating or all these parts, we can see it's a kind of top view. It's a kind of contour plots. Okay, see these smallest regions, this red is positive regions and black is negative regions. So these smaller regions are having dimension sub-Planck level. So that we actually checked numerically. We have calculated for two different cases. Alpha is equal to 1.4 and 2.5. We have considered the lower level and then middle level of the Morse potential, and we checked in atomic unit this value. Okay, if one can define this dimension of these sub-Planck scale structures, it's by h bar square by a, where a is the expand in a phase space, the classical action. Okay, so we calculated this dimension is coming smaller than 1 in atomic unit. So then it's in the region of less than Planck constant. So that we actually found in molecular system in 2006. Okay, so now the question is, okay, before going into the other discussion, this is just a pictorially I have explained here. This is known as compass state. In oscillator system, one define the compass state this way because it's like it's situated in north, south, east, and west. Okay, so here we'll see. For example, in phase space, there are four wave packets, And how these subplunk skulls are coming in the central region? So consider the diagonal pairs as if two cat states. Okay? And see here, the interference ripples comes parallel to the line if you join the line between two wave packets or states here. So its ripples comes which will be the parallel to the joining of these two states. Now if we consider this pair of states, see this, when these two superposition structure overlapping, then at the central region we find nice chessboard pattern structure. This is basically for oscillator system. Okay, so this is north, south, east and west kind of these two, four coherent states are situated. And in the central region, see this way, these nice structures, chessboard pattern appeared, and these small tiles are having dimension this subplunk level. In Morse system, it's an asymmetric system, so it's not very well localized. Even the individual states are is not very well localized. So these are the states in the Morse system. Okay, so same thing here also appears, but not very nice way that this small tiles are coming regular repeatedly. So it looks like this. So this is the central. These are the regions, but dimension are having smaller than plunks, and we found in the molecular system. Okay, now question is, what is the physical significance? Are they really sensitive in presence of decoherence? So for that, again we have studied this molecular system, consider the vibrating molecule. The source of decoherence in this vibrating molecule is because of coupling with the thermal reservoir caused by these rotational modes. Okay, and also coupling to the photonic or phononic degrees of freedom, kind of the dipole moment when they interact with the outside electric field. So from there, this photonic, this coupling comes. Phononic is suppose the molecule is immersed in a liquid. So from this acoustics mode, this phononic, this coupling will comes into the picture. So this kind of decoherence phenomena which will appear when you deal with the molecular system. Here, the later part we have model with a bosonic system by set of harmonic oscillators. Okay, and these are the system Hamiltonians. It looks like that, and the Hamiltonian is this with the oscillator. Harmonic oscillator system we have described it, and the interaction Hamiltonian with the coupling constant Gk. So now here comes the idea of master equation. So I'll not go into the mathematical parts. Okay, so we have solved this master equation, which is not very trivial, because for oscillator system one can solve easily, but for other anharmonic system or this nonlinear system, used numerical task is there behind that. So we solve it, and we found the density matrix of the system, time dependent density matrix, and from there one can find again the Wigner function. Okay, and see it's showing without decoherence when we are not considering any decoherence is present. So this is the initial localized wave packet. This is the two-way breakup of the initial wave packet at 1/4 T revival time, and see the interference fringes. And this is already I explained at 1/8 time one can find these subplunk structures. So in the molecular system, before looking at the decoherence part, let's see here what will happen in the oscillator system. So it's like a compass state, four coherent states are there in phase space, and see the system is coupled with the environment, decoherence is present, and this central interference region, see it is going to decay very faster way compared to these interference regions. Even these coherent states are almost intact. That means even if there is very small disturbance in the system, then it will affect fast the smallest structures, the subplunk scale structures. So, so this is basically for oscillator system. See, I just take a projection of this. So this interference region at the middle, subplunk dimension will be affected fast. This is basically for the molecular system. We have also shown. This 1/8 of fraction revival time is showing the 3D plots, okay, and initially there is no decoherence. Now when there is small decoherence is present, see it's going to decay, and for the large decoherence, see these positive negative oscillating, these interferences, these structures are going to decay very quickly. This is basically a variation of this, we have taken the amplitude of coherent states and also amplitude of negative region in the interference region, and see how it decays with the coupling constant. And see the initial one is the interference region peak we have chosen, where C is decaying very fast compared to the individual coherent states. And also we have done that it can be nicely fitted with the exponential law, okay, and then we also checked with the temperature. We now environmental temperature we have changes, and we saw that this is also following nice Bose distribution law as we expected, and this one, this for large temperature, see it's following this exponential law, but the smaller when the temperature is small, again there is a critical temperature. We just enlarge here this view. There is a critical temperature which above which it's showing the quantum nature. And not the least, this is actually we also check for longer time evolution. Suppose temperature is fixed and also the coupling constant is fixed. So if it evolves for a longer time, then it also will be affected by this decoherence phenomena. So initially what I have shown, all were for at the time 1/8 of T revival time, but this one is showing 3/8, but a longer time, 3/8 of revival time. So decoherence it's affecting, and this one is at 5/8 of revival time. See, the central region is completely absent here. So okay, so this one we realized for this molecular system that they are really sensitive in presence of decoherence. Now question is, are they really sensitive in presence of internal or external perturbation? So to describe this, we move to another system that is called post-stellar potential. Okay, it has some important features that see this potential, it looks like this, okay, and there are some potential parameters, this kappa rho, we have control over that. If we change one parameter, one can switch from symmetric to asymmetric one, okay, and also in some limiting condition, this post-stellar potential it turns to infinite square wave or scarf potential, so different kind of applications are there. So this potential, it looks like it's a kind of infinite wells repeating. So we are considering a single well here, okay. So now energy of this potential, if we solve this Schrodinger equation, we can find this eigenfunction and the corresponding energy values, okay. This system is exactly solvable system, and the nice feature is it has also again this quadratic dependence. This energy is having this quadratic dependence. So again we can see revival and fraction revival. So I will not explain here, already I have explained all those things, revival, fraction revival and Wigner functions, all those things. Now see what will happen in this system also. See this is for the symmetric case, okay. For the symmetric case, this is at 1/4 time, so very nicely they split it into two parts like a cat state, and interference ripples are there in between. And this one at 1/8 of T revival time, it's a kind of, it looks like a compass state, okay. It's situated at north, south, east and west, and in between at the middle one can find this nice chessboard pattern structure in this system also. Another structure we have also observed here, that is 1/12 of T revival time. At this time the initial wave packet splits into 6 wave packets. It splits into 6 wave packets, and we have given name as a bending like state. It looks like a bending structure. So here also these sub-Planck structures are present. So this actually we we studied for the symmetric potential. For the asymmetric case also, one can find the similar things, but this asymmetric nature, it's coming here also in phase space dynamics. Okay, the initial states, it's shifted towards the left boundary of the wall. As I have shown, the potential was shifted towards the left side, so it looks like that. Here also this Saplan-Cell structure can be found. Okay, for this asymmetric case. Now, okay, we have done some qualitative analysis, because for oscillator system already Zurek has explained that the dimension will be order of h bar square by a. So here we also checked that this is also valid for other system, physical system or not. So here we calculated numerically this classical action, okay, and also we measured the area of single tile from the Wigner plots, and we found that if we take a log-log plot of these two, we find that it's following a straight line with a slope -1. So it nicely follows this formula in this system also. Here are some other qualitative analysis we have done for these two cases. Okay, for the compass state and for the Benging-like state, both the cases we have studied, and the initial one, these two for the symmetric cases, and we found that for these compass-like states, the Saplan dimension is smaller than what we have for the Benging-like state. Okay, so this is also for, we have checked for asymmetric cases, and we see that the phase space area of the single tile increases for increasing asymmetry of the PT potential. Okay, now comes the idea of sensitivity. For example, if there is a very small perturbation in the system, for example, that for this weak force detection, it can cause a very small displacement in the system. So in different two ways we just checked here. One is an internal perturbation. It may be because of small change in the potential. Okay, so symmetric potential, and then it will turn to a asymmetric one. And another is the external perturbation, that phase space displacement of the state, for example, due to the application of weak force, which I have already explained. Okay, so first case, now we consider the case 1. So this is the symmetric wave packet, constant wave packet, and this is the asymmetric one. And these plots, the initial one is at 1/8 of t-revival time. That means this is the compass state. Okay, so it is split into 4 wave packets, and in between these are the Saplan-Cell structures. Now there is a small disturbance in the potential. This is changed from red to this blue one. So there is a very small change in the potential. And for this asymmetric one, we have plotted this Wigner function. See, as a whole, we cannot find any difference between these two pictures. Now, if we zoom at the central region, see, it looks like that for a very small change in the potential, there is a small shift in the left boundary, in the left direction. See here, these red tiles, these are the positive interference region and this negative interference region. So for this small change in the potential, see, there is a small shift of a single tile. So if we join this line, see, if we overlap these two states, see, this positive one is overlapping with the negative ones. So that means there is a small change in the system. It occurred, but we cannot we cannot find that it happened here. But if we look at the Saplan level structure, it is clear that these two states become orthogonal, almost orthogonal. So this is the thing actually we actually shown here in 3D picture, that when two interference patterns are displaced by a tile, one has a destructive interference effect and the integration tends to 0. That means two states becomes quasi-orthogonal. So thus the size of Saplan-Cell structure sets a sensitivity limit on probing small potential modification. This is case 2 where we just calculated the displaced coherent state. Okay. So it's a long calculation, I am not included here. So analytically we have calculated this displaced coherent state because of this external perturbation, for example, that weak force can cause this kind of disturbance. So again we took this overlap and just plot it here, this overlap function. See, it's going, it's like a oscillatory function, so going to 0, and we measured a single period which nicely matches with this dimension what we measured from the Wigner plots. So that means these smallest structures can make the two states orthogonal, and one can distinguish these two structures. So that another point is, now the coherent control method can be used to improve, to enhance the sensitivity limit. Okay. So here we took again the diatomic molecular system, and see, coherent control is based on optical manipulation. Basically we use two optical pulses whose phase we can manipulate, and when two optical pulses are used in a quantum system, if we manipulate the phase and amplitude of those two pulses, that means we can manipulate the phase of amplitude of the wave functions or wave packets. So recently there is an experiment from Japan, they have done experimentally, they prepared a control wave packet using this phase locked femtosecond pulse. They created two vibrational wave packets. So it's looks like that. One can write in this form where phi 1 represents the even wave packet, where the even states are contributing, and these are the odd parts. And theta determines the, it controls the phase between two wave packets. Here we have just given a phase diagram. Okay. So how it evolves with time, and what are the contribution. See this circle, the first one is showing this is the even part, this is the odd part, and this is the cross term. So how they are contributing, it will be very clear from this phase diagram. When the theta, this value is 0, see only odd parts are contributing. When this is pi, even parts are contributing, no interference regions. But when theta is equal to pi by 2, see they are equally contributing, the probabilities are half and half, and also interference terms are there. So okay, now here also again we considered with the two time scales, and at time t equal to 0, this is basically combination of two localized wave packet which behaves like a Schrodinger cat set. Initially it looks like a Schrodinger cat set, now it evolves with time. So at 1/8 of t revival time, we know we find this compass like state. So results, the well studied subplanksal structures originate from a compass like state in phase space. Hence, it is ought to study what happens by tailoring the phase of the presently considered wave packet. Now we have a freedom, we can control the phase between the two wave packets. So something new we can find out of there. And this is another time, 1/16 of t revival time, where it's kind of a 8-fold wave packet or a combination of two imprinted compass like states. So this will be more interesting to investigate also at this time scale, how they behave. Okay, so this is time t equal to 1/8 of t revival time, where theta is equal to 0. So at theta equal to 0, only odd parts are contributing here. So itself is it's like a cat state we can find at this time. Now if you change this parameter, this phase contouring parameter, see the even parts are starting contributing. Okay, and when theta is equal to pi by 2, this one, both are simultaneously contributing, these even parts and odd parts. So it's look like the compass like states. And when theta is equal to pi, it's again a cat shape, but it's situated localized in the momentum space. Okay, so now this is for 1/16 of t revival time. See here at theta is equal to 0, initially it looks like a not compasted, but a rotated compasted, not exactly north, south, east and west like that. So initially when theta equal to 0, it looks like a compass state with a rotation, and when theta is equal to pi by 4 or theta is equal to pi by 2, see both 8-fold mesoscopy superposition or envelope of two compass-like states, as if two compass-like states superposed, okay? And also in between the smallest regions are present, the sub-Planck scale regions are present. And theta equal to pi, well, this is a well-known, this compass-like state one can find. So now we have calculated this, all these numerically, the sub-Planck dimension for both the cases at 1/8 of t revival time, and changing these parameter values, okay, up to pi, and this is for 1/16 of t revival time. So we found that for this 1/8 of t revival time, for this figure, we found the smallest dimension, this one. This is the smallest dimension of this sub-Planck structure. We appeared at 1/8 of t revival time, when this theta is pi by 2. Now for this 1/16 of t revival time, this figure shows, because here comes the smallest one. I mean, sub-Planck dimension, it achieves the smallest value when it looks like this kind of rotated compass state, which one can find at 1/16 of t revival time when theta is equal to 0. Okay? So this is what we found in this molecular system, the maximum sensitivity or the maximum precision one can find using this coherent control method in this molecular system. Okay, so these are the, before concluding, just I'll say some of the things with the experiments, what are going on, some example. This is already I explained, it's in Omri group in Japan. They basically experimentally observe interference region, which is very challenging task to see because of this decoherence phenomena. Okay, and they already for this vibrating molecule they experimentally observe. They succeeded to it. They actually make they take a very cool ensemble of molecules. Okay, dilute and cool molecule ensemble of molecules, and automatically it minimize that coupling with the thermal reservoir. So this way they manage the decoherence part and observe experimentally. In 2009, also from the same lab, they experimentally observed the quantum carpets. It was earlier observed in Bose-Einstein condensate or in fermions in a box potential. But then in molecular system, first time they have observed in 2009. Another group is also working very actively. It's in University of Oxford, Walmsley group. Actually, they also monitor the decoherence with the method, closed loop control method. Okay, and they also reconstructed the Schrodinger cat states in molecular system by minimizing the decoherence phenomena. Okay, so now I will conclude here. So we have demonstrated that the interesting sub-Planck scale structure can indeed be realized in the temporal evolution of quantum system, for example, vibrating directing molecule, poststellar potential, and most importantly, these sub-Planck structures are found physically very important. Okay, I have shown in molecular system that how sensitive those are in presence of decoherence, and the sensitivity of this structure also is studied for both in presence of internal or external perturbations. Okay, and this dimension says the sensitivity limit in these cases too. And lastly, also we checked that coherent control method can be used to enhance the sensitivity limit in this molecular system. So of course these structures, sub-Planck structures, it paves a smooth way towards the field of the quantum metrology and Heisenberg limited measurement. Thank you.